Hello, I'm John Fowkes. Let's grow someplace. But right here I've got a pip, and here I've got a pip. So I got a brown pip and I've got a black pip. And the black pip's a 2-gallon pip, and this brown pip is a half-gallon pip. And I've got nothing growing here, so why am I wasting the water? Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pull out the pip like that, and I can put in a different pip if I want to. I think I will. I think I'll put in a half-gallon pip. And I've got a plant here that's gone off to seed. We're just going to go ahead and take that out, put in some of my kale, because I've got so much of it I need to find places for it to live anyway. But even kale doesn't need too much water. It just needs enough. And here we have 2 pips back to back. I'm just going to pull one of them out, and I'm going to use a plug, and we're just going to plug that up. There we go. So that one's plugged. Let's go over to the other side of the garden. I've got more pips I need to put in, and I'm going to be working with spaghetti tubing. And let me show you how the whole system works, and I'll explain that a little bit. Okay, so we're going to start working with this this irrigation system. They're put together with ends and caps and stuff you can put together from most large hardware stores, home improvement type centers. Today, I'm going to be installing some of these half-gallon size pips in a spot in my garden that doesn't have irrigation yet. It's got the hose there, right here, but I don't have any pips on it yet. So I've decided I need to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So we have our little hole maker. All I have to do to put right here at one of my bean plants, pop the hole, take the little pip, pop it in, we're done. That easy. I'll do a few more here real quick. Little hole. Grab another pip. That easy. Now, this saves on water. This saves on water for me by only watering right at the very base of the plants I want to have watered. And also cuts down on weeds. Cuts down on weeds because there's only going to be water where my plants are. All these other guys get to go away. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit a few more in here, and then we'll jump back to another piece of video, and we'll add another little piece of tubing in. I'm out of the black tubing like this, but I'm going to put a piece of spaghetti tubing in. It's not the best thing to use, but it's what I have, so that's what I'm going to use. Be right back. Okay, so here's the hose where the main feed of the water comes from the spigot, and then it goes into a reducer valve and somewhere I've got a backflow valve too. It might be at the other end. And a timer, a filter right here. That can be the backflow valve there. And into a splitter that goes off into 2 gardens and a hose for anything I can't hit with the irrigation. And I still have one nozzle here that I haven't hooked up for irrigation, which will happen soon, I hope, because I've got a whole nother branch in my garden that needs water. Right now I'm hand watering, which can get time consuming. Now from here, each one of these irrigation tubes, you come up here and you see this pipe here. This is a shower filter. This idea came from John Kohler from growingyourgreens.com. Thank you, John. And I use the shower filter here to take the chlorine out of the water, and or at least most of it. The less chlorine you have, the less you hurt your the organisms in the soil that feed your plants. So, all right, so let's go put some pips on some buckets I have out back, and then we'll shoot to another garden. Okay, so my main line runs right through here, down along this fence line, and I ran out of garden space, so I started using some buckets for some beans, and I haven't been able to water them regularly. And until just recently, I haven't had the pips to do this with. So I'm going to go ahead and hit some pips on the bottom of this. They're really easy to put in. I've got a tool that makes a hole, and in this case I'm going to put them right underneath. Hello. Okay. And then we'll put the pip in. Make sure it's not just going to pop back out. Keep it still here. We're just going to take a piece of wire on a bucket. That'll keep it there. Okay, so I got 3 buckets out of 6. Good deal there. But I still have one more spot in my garden that's not on irrigation that has a main line through it. I've got the pips, and I know how to do it, so I'll show you what I'm doing with it. I'm going to also add some spaghetti tubing to it, so let's go on over to the squash garden. Okay, so I'm having problems right here where this is coming up or moving, and I want it to stay in one spot, so what I'm doing here is I'm making it to where I can just put a piece of wire around it. I'm just stuffing the wire into the ground. That'll hold it a little closer to place. Okay, so now that I've gotten the pips on the main hose, the main line, I'm going to run a few little spaghetti tubes like this here off of the main line straight directly to plants. Because these plants take up such room and they're so spread apart, I want to be able to direct the water right to their roots. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a little T and some spaghetti tubing to make the connection happen. So first thing I'm going to do is figure out where I want to put this. Here's our root right here. So with our root system here, here's the tube. I've also got a big blank spot over here that's pretty much got just weeds in it. And I'm going to plant another plant right here. So if I'm going to plant another plant right here, I can use one of these T's somewhere in the middle and run one to both places. So simple as can be. Okay, so we've made the hole, and then this here is going to go in here, but before I put it together, I'm going to put the hoses on it, because otherwise it could be a little troublesome for me. Okay, there's the hoses. Now I need 2 pips. Alright, so we got 2 half-gallon waterers. Well, my spaghetti tubing is not cooperating as well as I'd like it to, so once again we're going to grab some wire. They actually make make special things to plug them in the ground and stuff, but you know what? I can make my own really cheap, so I just do that. Okay. And that's how easy it is to put in your own little irrigation area. Putting in pips and adding pips. It's fairly simple. Okay, so we've turned back on the water and we're waiting for the air to pump out of them. And here's one of our new pips here. It didn't just pop right out, it's just dripping like it's supposed to. And this one here is dripping here like it's supposed to. And this one here is not dripping because it's plugged. And this one here is probably gonna start dripping in a minute. Then again, it could be, oh, it's bubbling here. So, okay, so we're good here. Let's go check our other sides. Oh, we've got water here. And up here. And right here. I don't see any gushers though, nothing's popped out. So what I'm looking for is to have one of these guys just pop right out of its hole and end up spraying all over the place. So working with an irrigation system isn't really that difficult. It takes a little bit to set up, but it'll save you a ton of time and worry about whether you're going to be home to water your plants or not, especially the way it's been the past 10 days with solid sunshine. Well, I guess that's it for today. Let's grow someplace.